So now that we have the surface point group created, we're going to create the surface. Should actually be a step in here, but we're just going to create the surface now after we have that surface point group. And what I'll do actually is I'll go to this surface. I'm just going to delete, actually no, I won't delete that surface. I'll leave that one alone for now. But what I will do quickly, as a little teaser for what's going to come later, we're just going to turn off the display of that surface by assigning this none style, which will suppress the display of that surface. So we'll create a new surface. So to create the surface, you can right click on the surfaces collection from Prospector and select Create Surface, or on the Home tab of the ribbon, on the Create Ground Data panel, you can create a surface here. And there's a few different types of surface. Note that if you choose a tin volume surface, the base surface and comparison surface are specified as a property of that volume surface. Hence, a volume can be calculated from that volume surface. We're simply going to create a tin surface. The name of the surface will be called OG Webinar. And I'll just give it a description. Always use the descriptions to describe your objects. Original ground surface for webinar. And the default style, which was assigned by the create surface command settings, is contours and triangles. So now that I've finished that, I've actually created the surface. So we go back to Prospector. Once again, Prospector is the true indication of the data in your drawing, not the display of it, because obviously we're not able to see anything yet. So here's our surface, and the surface exists. The next step is to add the definition items to that surface. And so under the definition collection, you see you have point groups. And there's other definition items that we'll discuss a little bit later, but we can now right click on point groups, add, and we're going to choose the EG surface webinar point group that we had created in the prior exercise. Click OK, and you can see that that surface has taken shape. Now things might look a little odd right now for this surface, and there's a reason for that, and we're going to explore that in the next lesson. So as you can see, this surface doesn't look like it's representative of all the points. Let's actually display all the points. What I'm going to do is go to the point group sort order, and I'm going to modify the properties of the point group collection and move all points to the top of the list. And let's also go to the all points point group, modify the properties, and turn on the overrides so that the point group takes control over the display of the points. And when I do that, you can see I've got all these points in these locations, yet the blue triangulation lines didn't quite reach those points for some reason. And the reason is because I had selected the wrong point group. So let's go back to our surface definition, OG Webinar here. If we look at our definition collection, if I go to point groups now, you can see that I chose the existing sidewalk and walkway point group. So what we'll do is we're going to right click and delete the point group definition from the surface. So I haven't deleted the actual point group. Point group obviously is still intact. What I did was delete the point group definition from the surface. And now we're going to add the correct point group definition, and there it is, EG surface webinar. And you can see that the surface in Prospector indicates that it's out of date because of the exclamation mark. So now we can right click and rebuild that surface. And let's just finish up the exercise here by suppressing the display of those points. And we're going to right click on point groups, modify the properties. Oops, that's what I want already, sorry. We're going to turn off the overrides on the all points point group. So we'll go to the Overrides tab and turn off the overrides. So now the direct assignment of the point style and point label style applies to the point objects. And there you can see our completed surface.